You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. You've found good in abundance. You're going to be so amazed today. We have an epic guest. Yes, this is a great person. I've spoken with a number of times. I love what he does. I love his story, and it's engaging. It's inspiring. And it's uplifting. And that's just something that we all need and want. And we want to have this because this is a transformational time in the world. So I am honored to say hello. My name is Barry Shore. I'm your humble host, the ambassador of joy. And welcome. Good-looking people throughout the world. Now, how can I make the categorical statement that all the hundreds of thousands of people that are watching or will be listening to this podcast are all good-looking? Because if you tuned into the Joy of Living podcast, it means you're always looking for and finding the good. That's a definition of a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good. And that's what we do here. We talk about and discuss the three fundamentals of life. And when you learn the three fundamentals and you use them, the result will be you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? So, of course, the three fundamentals are, number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. Now, in this case, a good number two, you go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, this podcast is carried around the world, hundreds of thousands of people listening, tuning in, and I urge you to share this with 5 people so we're able to touch over 1.5 million people. And is carried over the internet. So if you ask anybody, what does www stand for? Invariably, they'll say it to do with the internet. Factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? WHETA. Whenever you hear the opening bars of that amazing song, What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, a tip of the hat, thank you so much for enabling that song to go viral, not just touch tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet with that amazing song. What do you do right away when you hear the song? You smile. You can't help it. Now, SMILE is a wonderful acronym that stands for Seeing Miracles in Life Every Day. Seeing miracles in life every day. So I got to tell you, I'm now back doing personal group talks, and I recently spoke to a group, 1,176 people, lots of energy, lots of hugging. It was just absolutely wonderful. I'm telling the story about Barry Shore. I'm talking about SMILE, seeing miracles in life every day. And some people raise their hands and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours, Ray. I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. You have water to drink, you have food to eat, you have a place to sleep, you have family, you have friends. Every single one of those is a miracle. What's the proof? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or you're listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full. So I'll tell you a quick story. It's about me. Imagine, if you can, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening being in the hospital totally, completely paralyzed. Yes, from the neck down. Not an automobile accident, not a spinal injury, a rare disease took over my body. I never heard of it the day before and rendered me what's called a quadriplegic. Nothing, my body moved, my neck down. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 11 days in the intensive care unit, another 133 days in hospitals. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking one. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, all because of this one word. Smile. But I got to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago. He says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym. It stands for causing, rethinking, enabling all to excel. It's about rethinking. It's what we call a shift in perspective. Now, I've been working with people for more than 42 years. And I can tell you, in all of that time, 97.2% of all the people I work with drop the F in shift, and the other stuff happens. You got to be effing careful with your F's. You want to shift your perspective just a tiny bit, and that causes you to open up, and then you can let in the 6 most important words that you'll ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will show you the path and the trajectory of your life. So before we bring on our wonderful guest, wonderful, amazing Jake, I'm telling you, epic. I'm so happy that he has consented to join us today. I just want to warn him in advance and everybody else listening that I do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word. I do it for the shock value, and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, free, gift, pray, play, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, yes. FU, capital N, capital N. Now, right away, some people are raising their hands and say, hey, Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world. The world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled FU, capital N, capital N. So after the show, remember to share this with 5 people. Just go to my website, barryshore.com, share it with 5 people. After the show, point your finger, have a smile on your face. Remember that stands a twinkling eye. Point you and say, F you, everybody, to your family and friends. Remember, add right away, capital N, capital N. So where'd you get that? I said, I listen to Barry Shore and the Joy of Living podcast, and he wants to teach the world to F you. So before we bring on amazing Jake, I want to share and urge everybody to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life, because it will enable you and your family and your friends and all living beings to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and network kindness, to harmonize and nurture kindness. So imagine you walk into your coffee shop, order a fancy latte, you sit down, someone brings you, you say thank you. Walk in the coffee shop, order a fancy latte, sit down, a few minutes going, nobody brings it. You go out the kind and say, I'm sorry, we forgot, we're busy. And someone will bring it to you, you sit down, somebody brings it a few minutes later, you still say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you, say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining, and somebody slams the door on you. You say, thank you. You're in traffic, you're late for an appointment, somebody cuts you off. You say, yes, thank you. Get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and nurture kindness. KIND is a wonderful acronym that stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody right now that I could share with you that inspires noble deeds more than the amazing, the wonderful, fabulous Jake DeSantis. Jake, please say hello to 361,822 people around the world.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here, especially if I'm able to help somebody. Honored to be part of the show, Barry.
Thank you, Jake. And again, I truly appreciate you making the time. I'm just going to give everybody a date. We don't usually do this, but I'm going to give everybody a date right now. It is May the 30th. Now, May the 30th, just a day after May 29th, which is when we celebrated Memorial Day in the United States of America. And it's a very important date in the calendar in the United States of America. And there are very few countries around the world that have a Memorial Day. And certainly not going back to the 19th century was when it began. And this is to honor heroes, people who have served our country in the military. You don't have to be deceased to be thanked on Memorial Day. It's the people who understand that service is an important part of life. Before I do go into Jake and why he's here and such, I want to make everybody aware of a couple of things. Number one, we're going to discuss Jake pre-military, early life. We're going to discuss Jake military. Then we're going to discuss Jake post-military. And I want everybody to understand that this is the essence of the word joy. Joy is a great acronym that stands for Journey of You. That's what joy stands for. And it's sometimes a rocky journey, oftentimes for most people, bumpy, rocky, twists and turns. One never knows. So I can tell you right now that wonderful Jake is currently the regional director of wellness services for more than 20 assisted living communities in several of these states throughout the United States. He works for a great company called InSpirit Senior Living. And it's really about Jake's journey from the pre-military, the military, and post, of why I asked him to be here, because this is where it gets inspiring. I'm going to urge everybody, if you know somebody in the military that's serving now or is coming out of the military or just been out of the military for 6 months or a year, or if you don't know anybody, if you know somebody who knows somebody, make sure you share this with them. I want everybody to understand that there is a pathway in healthcare that can give you a way not just to make money, make a living, to do well by doing good. Because healthcare services needs you. It needs people of the caliber of people who served in the military. They understand what it means to serve, to give, and to be part of a team. So with that as an intro, wonderful Jake. Let's just jump right in and go to part of your earlier life. You call it pre-military. Well, what does that mean, pre-military? What were you doing? Were you a hoodlum? Were you out there causing all kinds of things? Did you steal hubcaps?
Well, some people might have used the word rambunctious or colorful when they referred to me, maybe during my high school days. I wasn't the most studious guy out there. I'm still not. I'm not a reader, didn't read a whole lot of books. English was my worst subject in high school. Ended up attending 3 different high schools. I finally ended up graduating on time, surprisingly. And that was from a continuation high school, but I made it. Well,
let me ask you, where did you grow up? What area of the country?
California, mostly in the Bay Area. And I did attend high school in the Bay Area. And I was more interested in partying and having a good time than hitting the books. And hey, I was a colorful guy.
I mean, you were just, let's be blunt, you were a regular guy. By the way, I'm going to say this because Jake is too modest. One of the reasons that I'm really happy, and we've had a couple of conversations already, that he's here is because he considers himself a regular guy. He is. I also want everybody to understand that when you're the regional director for wellness services for more than 20 assisted living communities, you're not just a regular guy. I mean, he has remarkably interesting responsibilities. He works with a lot of people. He's directing a lot of happy, well people, or he wants to make them happy and well. So he's no longer just a regular guy. I want everybody to understand this. And part of it is that the journey is to do with understanding that there are people out there who everybody wants to help somebody else. Is that fair to say, Jake?
Yes, sir.
So how did you get helped?
Well, after high school, random jobs, anything from like being a telemarketer, a cashier, a busboy, even worked at a yogurt joint and was just a job hopping guy, always broke. Still interested in partying and having a good time, but probably wasn't your model citizen. But finally I made a decision to go into the military. My dad probably had a little bit to do with that. He said, "Hey son, man, they'll give you some direction. They'll train you. they'll put you in the best shape of your life. So yeah, before I made that decision, that was a little bit of my past, but I think the military kind of gave me that guidance, the training, and a direction in life. So
What age were you when you went in?
I was 18.
18. And which branch of the service?
I chose the Army.
And I want everybody to understand the words that Jake has used in the past couple of minutes. He made a decision and he said, I chose the Army. Remember, we talked about these 6 words that are the most important words you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. I think that you just made those words come true. You embodied them. You made a decision. You asked, in this case, your father, and he said, okay, I applaud that. And then you chose the Army. You
Yes.
used your mindset. I made a choice. I made a decision, and you're moving forward. So now you're 18 years old and you are fresh. You're in the Army now. You're not behind the plow. You'll never get rich by digging a ditch. You're in the Army now. Obviously nobody sings that anymore, but that's a different story. I'm dating myself, right? decades. So what was it about the Army that did bring you benefit? Did you learn how to listen?
Yeah. Hey, well, the basic training was tough. And then you go through your advanced individualized training where they teach you what you decided to specialize in. But there was a level of accountability, and that one of the sayings in the Army back then when I joined, the saying that was all over the TV commercials is, hey, we do more before 9 a.m. than the average person does all day. That was true. That was very true. I lived it. And I probably could have done a lot of things other than what I specialized in. I could have been a landscaper, a janitor, maybe even an auto mechanic. We did more before 9 a.m. than most people. There was a level of accountability. The training was great. I received some training in the Army that I've never received in nursing school, at being a medical specialist. So it was very valuable. A decision I never regret.
I want to use the V word that you just used, valuable, because there are people who would be listening to this around the world who would love to join the American Army or the American military. They can't because they're not living in the United States and they're not citizens. The ability to join the American military in whatever position you can is a great honor. The ability to learn service, as you said so eloquently, Jake, accountability. And I love this line. You do more by 9 a.m. than most people will do in the course of an entire day, because you're up at 5 and you're not just mustering out and you're walking around with bleary eyes. You have things to do. There are things that need to be accomplished within that course of those first 4 hours of being alive. And the beauty of it is that not only are you accomplishing, but you're being trained to accomplish. Am I right?
Yes.
And you got to be accountable to people.
Yes.
So how long did you serve? Was it 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5?
Well, my initial enlistment was only 2.5 years. And then I got homesick really quick. So I extended my enlistment for a year to have a limited choice of duty stations so I could be somewhat close to home. So I served my full 3.5 years that I enlisted for.
So you were 4 years in service. And did you ever leave? I'm sorry?
I signed up for 2.5 was my initial enlistment, and I extended it for 12 months. So
so 3.5 years.
Yeah. I have an honorable discharge. I served my full term, and then you're considered inactive reserve up until the 8-year mark. Then you get your honorable discharge. So I went through all those hoops. Yes.
So you went in as a buck private and you left as an
E4 specialist.
E4 specialist is what we call a sergeant.
It's equivalent to a corporal. A corporal, I guess, would be considered maybe a commissioned officer or non-commissioned officer, and we're the specialist hasn't reached that status yet.
Was there anything in particular that you did in the military, in the Army, that surprised you in terms of training? In other words, were you especially good at shooting a rifle, or did you learn how to crawl on your belly like a reptile?
Well, hey, once again, I wasn't the most studious. I did well through the AIT school. I did. You get 1 second chance when you're going through your training for your specialty. I failed once, but on the retest, I did well. What I did excel in the military is I was good at, I was an expert marksman, but I grew up hunting and shooting, and so that I was a natural at. But I was also good at the physical training. I was one of the guys they sent to represent our company for the physical training contests. They had me become a combat life course instructor and an expert field medical badge instructor, and I was also fortunate enough to go through air assault school where I got to rappel out of Blackhawks. That was pretty fun.
So you're 3.5 years, and then again, reserve duty is how long after that?
Well, it was in active reserves, but up to the 8-year point from the day you go active duty. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get called for that?
No, I never got called back, and I was okay with that.
I can understand.
Yeah,
and that was all still you were in California during service.
Yes, I went through. I went through basic training in Fort Bliss, Texas. I went through the AIT, the Advanced Individual Training in Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio. And then, like I said, being homesick and knowing there's a chance I could be sent, real far away from home, I said, hey, I'll extend for 12 months with the benefit of choice of duty station. Of course, it was a limited choice of duty station. I ended up in a light infantry rapid deployment unit, but that's okay. I was kind of close to home.
Okay, fair enough. When you were at Fort Sam Houston, did you take medic programs at all?
Yeah, I was a medical specialist, 91 Bravo. I think initially it was a 91 Alpha and then changed to 91 Bravo. I was a medical specialist. That's where all the medical training was.
And did that help you, first of all, in understanding much more about the human condition, the body, but also a potential career path in healthcare?
Oh yeah, I used that as a stepping stone for my career, definitely.
Did you recognize at the time, or did anybody in service recognize at the time, saying, by the way, all you people now in this medic training, this can be a great entree into the healthcare profession?
Yeah, there was even programs in the military where you could I almost, when it came time to get out, I almost re-enlisted just because you could go to 91 Charlie School and become a nurse in the military. So I knew the value and the path I chose, but I did decide. Hey, once I served my full term, I also had the benefits of the GI Bill. So after the military, I took advantage. I worked as a medical assistant in the civilian world, and took advantage of the GI Bill to further my career.
So, based on what you just said, told us, you went in at the age of 18, maybe 19. I'm not sure that crossover time, and you served till about the age of 22, 23. Fair enough?
Yep.
So before we go and tell people what it is that you did now or do now in the world of healthcare, and I want everybody to understand, healthcare is a profession. It's not just a job where you can make money. There are so many aspects to working in the healthcare world that it's really interesting. It's not just, let's say, being a certified nursing assistant or a licensed vocational nurse, or a licensed practicing nurse, or even a registered nurse. There is, and I believe in your particular situation, we have the more than 20 of these assisted living communities. You need people in so many different areas. Am I correct? I mean, you need people from everybody from dietitians to people, we'll call it driving carpool, helping out. So there are so many opportunities in assisted living to recruit, in an interesting term, to recruit people from the military. Isn't that correct?
Definitely correct. Lot of different disciplines in the industry. Everything, like you said, from housekeeping to dining to activities to bus drivers, hairstylists. Yeah, a lot of different departments, a lot of different opportunities depending on the state we operate in and the regulations. Sometimes we can hire people, and we've hired people off the street with no background that have just a big heart, and we can have them become direct care certified. And then next thing, we can teach them how to become a certified med tech. Next thing you know, we put them in administrator and training programs depending on the state, and they're licensed executive directors running some of these buildings. Some of them go regional positions, like myself. So there's a lot of opportunities in the industry.
So I want to emphasize the big O word, the big O word. Again, I'm focusing, as are you, because we're talking about people who serve. One of the things that we do at our company, which is called USA Care Living, is that our mission is to provide for those who protect us. In other words, we love military, former military, people who've been out, whether you've been out 6 months, a year, and even several years. If you want to find a career path in healthcare that not only pays well, but is very rewarding on a personal level, I mean, this is one of the best places to be. Am I right? Especially in today's environment, for good or ill, and mostly for ill, unfortunately. There is a big crunch right now. There's a crisis that we need many more people by the tens of thousands than we can possibly fill spaces. I mean, everything from registered nurses, again, down to people driving carpool and dietitians, things like that. And the genius of the system is that we can train people. So you talk about big heart. Well, there's nobody who understands service better than people who have been in the service. In other words, you call it military. I call it service. Isn't it? Is that not accurate?
It sounds good to me. I got you 100%.
Wow. Thank you. That's a big compliment coming from Jake. By the way, before we go to our break, I'm going to do something uncharacteristic. And that is, I'm going to read a number of pieces about Jake's CV, just so everybody is understanding, because one of the things we're talking about again here is the ability to find career path in healthcare that not only is a job that pays, but pays well. You can do very well in healthcare, especially now. And Jake is the embodiment of that. He's we'll call him a poster. I won't call you a poster child or a poster boy. He's the poster man. He's the poster Superman. He's the, as I said, regional director of wellness services for In-Spirit Senior Living. He's responsible for healthcare oversight, working closely with In-Spirit corporate leadership, with all In-Spirit Senior Living communities to ensure that every community's wellness department has the tools they need to deliver the highest quality care for our residents. Approximately how many residents are we talking about, Jake?
Boy, well over 1,000, and right now we're at 22 communities. Within the next couple of months, we'll be well over 32, 33 communities. So we're growing. And
in each community, approximately 100, 200 people?
It depends. They vary by size. Some as little as 40, others as much as well over 100. On average, 40 to 60 residents, 40 to 65 on your average size community.
So you're talking about caring daily for thousands of people.
Yes.
Caring daily. And let's be blunt, everybody needs to eat daily, to be, to get cleaned up, to be functional, to have activities. all the thousands of people that involves. And we're coming up to our break right now. So what we'll do is remember everybody that we have sponsors that love us. So we urge you to patronize them, because we wouldn't be having sponsors if we didn't love them. And then we want you to love them as well. So we're going to take a short break here. Don't go away. There's more Jake DeSantis on the other side of this. And we're going to talk about what it really means to be in service and to run a large organization. And again, he signed up to be in the U.S. Army, didn't realize where we were going to take him. But that's what joy is all about, right? Joy stands for Journey of You. Be right back after this brief message. Don't go away. Good day, everybody. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp. BetterHelp. Now, everybody knows, as watches this show, that I've been through a lot of stuff, paralyzed, years in therapy. And when I talk about therapy, I'm talking about physical and mental therapy. So I am a big believer in the benefits of therapy. And I'd like to urge everybody to consider using therapy in your life. It will make a positive, purposeful, powerful, beneficial difference for you. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, I would urge you to give BetterHelp a try. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. It is really, I believe, a great opportunity if you're considering using therapy. And I urge people, use therapy. So let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com, BetterHelp.com/joy of living. Do it today and you'll get 10% off your first month. Visit betterhelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com/joy of living. You'll thank me. And I know you like thanking me. Go to betterhelp.com/joy of living. Do it now. Good day, everybody. Oh, something special for you. Amazing. Sometimes a great notion comes into the world and causes a shift that benefits everyone. Isn't that wonderful? Everyone benefits. This time it's called Einstein Cares. That's right, like Albert Einstein. EinsteinCares.com. EinsteinCares. EinsteinCares.com. Go there and sign up to be aware of when the site launches. Because guess what this site is all about? Its mission is to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The mission is to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. And it's based upon something everybody loves to do. Shop, have fun, give money at no cost. Go to EinsteinCares.com. That's EinsteinCares.com and register now so that when the site launches, you will be amongst the first to know about it. So you can shop, earn money, and give money at no cost. What a wonderful world to even be thinking about these things. EinsteinCares.com. Do it today. You'll thank me, and you know you love thanking me. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. And he's a two-legged being named Jake DeSantis. He is, and you can look at that beautiful face and that smile. He is the regional director of wellness services for In Spirit Senior Living, 20 plus communities, assisted living, and tending to thousands of people. And when we're talking about this is really the career pathway in health care services. Our company, USA Care Living, is the premier company in this space that specifically looks to help and work with former military or even current military who are mustering out, people who really want to have a career path that not only gives you rewards from the spirit, but pays very well. There is no limit to what you can do in this field. And Jake is a living example. Is that correct, Jake? I mean, think about it. I'm going to ask you a direct question. If you want to say, no, Barry, you're wrong, that's okay. But I don't want you to. But when you got out of service and before you joined, let's say, in this particular path, did you even think it's possible to be in the place you are today, having gone through the U.S. Army?
Yeah, hey, it was I had some question marks in front of me. I used my military training to find a job and work as a medical assistant. I used the GI Bill after that. I was lucky enough to be selected into a vocational nursing program. So yeah, I used what the military gave me to support myself as a medical assistant, and then took advantage of the GI Bill, which I encourage people to do as well, and was lucky enough to be accepted into a nursing program. And hey, I'm fortunate to be where I'm at. I'm not sure that I knew I'd end up in a position like this, but I can't imagine doing anything different now. This is what I know how to do. I
love that. I couldn't imagine doing anything different, because to be able to be of service and have a career, support your family, and make a lot of money. That's a wonderful thing, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah. Hey, I'm blessed. I had a few jobs before I got in the assisted living industry. Not that they were bad jobs, but I really found my niche in the AL industry. I got lucky that somebody took a chance on me and put me in a management position, and then kind of climbed the ladder from there. But yeah, I just found my niche, found it a challenge, accepted the challenge, and I've been blessed.
I love these words, because this is really what happens with people who have been in the service in military, is that you recognize a challenge and you're willing to accept it.
Right,
and
right.
overcome and live with it and do well. In other words, when you became a licensed practicing nurse, an LPN or an LVN equivalent, that was pretty interesting and rewarding, and it was nice, right? And then when you realize you could actually grow from there into administration, that's even more challenge. And with more challenge comes more responsibility, more money. Isn't that a great pathway to success?
Yes, I agree. I've enjoyed it. It's definitely not boring, and a lot of opportunities.
Again, there's that big O word.
Right.
Because we remember we're talking to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and we're really focusing today on people in the United States of America. If you're listening and you either know somebody in the military, or you know somebody who knows somebody in the military that is either thinking of, or them, and they're about to get out, or they're already out for a little while, please share this with them. The opportunity, the big O, as Jake said. By the way, when I think of the big O, I'm going to date myself. I think of Oscar Robertson, basketball player. That's for me the big O. Great ball player. But that's the opportunity that exists today that really didn't even exist 10, 20 years ago. This is a time right now where so many people are needed, and so many different skills, not just as a certified nursing assistant or a licensed vocational nurse or a licensed practicing nurse. But like you said, so many different niches within the assisted living world. And assisted living has a tremendous, tremendous need for people who want to learn skills. And we're there to help teach these skills. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So we're here to serve those who served. As I said, for USA Care Living, our motto is we're here to provide for those who protected us. And we want to create the pathway so that you can have a career in the health care industry. If you be kind enough, please, I'm going to just mention a few things. Jake began his career in 1990. Now, that's a bit of time ago, as a medical specialist in the United States Army. Then you went on to receive your licensed practical nursing education in San Francisco in the late 1990s. And then you've had several positions in skilled care, acute care, pediatrics, and all this thing. But you love, well, by your words, the assisted living industry. It's a great industry, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great industry. Yeah, I guess what's really sparked my interest is that's where I had my first management opportunity, and I knew I was taking really good care of our residents. But hey, we have state inspectors come in and review us, and they might say, hey, you know what, you're getting a few bad marks or a few violations today. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I take great care of my residents, and it might be just because I don't understand one piece of the regs or a document that needs to be completed. So another challenge I took on, and it's been my niche, been a blessing, like you said, not just for the clinical discipline, but other disciplines as well.
So again, assisted living is a place where people don't know much about it. Would you be kind enough to share with us in just a couple of minutes, what does it mean, assisted living?
Well, depending on the state you operate in, most of the time we avoid skilled care. We can provide some skilled care under certain licenses, or perhaps partnering with some support services like a home health company. But some people are more independent than others. We do have memory care units as well. So we short of providing skilled care, we try to have people age in place. And this is their home, and we want them to age in place and be at home for the end of life care as well. Yeah, we do everything from meal preparation, laundry, medication management, activities of daily living support and care. We do transportation services, activities. But like I said, some people are more independent than others. Memory care, you might have somebody with the earlier stages dementia versus somebody with later stages dementia. We also partner with hospice programs. So once again, we can keep them in their home at end of life. So we do a little bit of everything. Like I said, not so much skilled care depending on the license, but we do partner with home health to provide that as well.
I really like this phrase, age in place. So it's the people who are, like you said, on the spectrum from very active to less so, but these are oftentimes people who are very active. Just it's better to be in a community setting than necessarily still be in one's home, because if you're in a community setting, you have so many more services available to you and so many more people to interact with and help take care of you. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Correct.
I like that. Age in place. That's what assisted living is about. Now, do you have the opportunity to go and travel and visit various communities that you watch over?
Sure. Right now we're at 22 communities in 6 different states. There's only one of me, but I do support all the buildings, even if it's remotely. I've been to 21 out of the 22 buildings. Like I said, pretty soon we're going to be at 33 buildings. I partner with a couple of other regional nurses now that we've grown so much. But the 3 of us work close together, and we support all 20 plus buildings.
So in a community, let's just pick a number, say it's 60 beds, 60 units. How many people are employed in a 60 unit community?
It could be very close to 60, 70 staff members as well.
Oh, so it's at least a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, it's, on average, that's right in the ballpark.
So you have 60, let's say 22 communities now, that's over 1,300 people that you employ. And again, what we're looking to do with USA Care Living is we want service members, ex-military to fill all those positions, because it's the big O, as Jake has said. It's the opportunity. And you're never stuck in any one place. You can start out and 6 months later or a year or 2 years later, you can be doing 2 or 3 different jobs and moving on the ladder and really being able to grow and, again, grow your career in terms of self-rewarding, and you'll be rewarded monetarily, correct?
They take pretty good care of me.
That's right. Look at Jake. I mean, this is, as I said, he's an epic guest because, as he says, he's a regular guy, but he's not. And the key is, I'm going to put words in your mouth, Jake. You ready?
Sure.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. Is that fair to say? Would you say those words?
Yes, I would definitely say those words. Yeah.
Right. That's what he says, because it's such an important role that Jake plays right now. Let's be blunt. He takes it seriously. He has 22 communities. He's growing. He's working with plus minus 1,300 people. He knows what it means to have started out as just a medical assistant, and now to be a regional director. It's so exciting to see what you've done. I mean, I am deeply impressed. That's one of the reasons I asked that you be on the podcast today, because we're reaching out to people, let's say, from the American Legion. The American Legion, thank God, hundreds of thousands of people that know people in the service. And this is a place where people from service need to be. They should be looking at healthcare. They should be looking at the pathways in healthcare. This is a profession, not just a job. But it's like you said, the big O, the opportunity to be involved in an area that it continues to grow. Let's be blunt. Older people are not going away, thank God. I mean, me as an example, people will be around for decades to come, maybe centuries to come, because there'll always be older people. Am I right? I mean, let's just be blunt. That sort of that age of, we'll call it, for want of a better term, 68 to 88. I'm just using a 20-year period. But it's that's going to be a lot more people as time goes on. So there's certainly a need. So I'm going to ask you, Jake, you've been in this world now for a decade or more, much more. What do you see happening over the next 10 to 20 years? You're a young man.
Well, hey, the pandemic was tough on the industry. We are making a recovery from that. And we're doing very well. And hey, like you said, baby boomers, I think there might be a wave with the baby boomers. I think this field is, probably, I've heard the term recession proof, and I think you'll always have a job, and it's feels good to do this job.
And again, we're specifically, Jake and myself, through our company, USA Care Living, reaching out to people either in the military service now and just getting out, and over the next 6 months or so. Have you been out for 6 months or a year or so? And if you know anybody that knows anybody, this is a place to be. The health care profession. That's really what we're looking at. There's pathways in healthcare profession on so many levels, because there are so many needs in a community, an assisted living community, as Jacob said. You're talking people, everything from dietary to carpool to activities to service, so many opportunities. We need many, many tens of thousands of people. This is a place to be. Jake, we don't have much time left, I'm sorry to say. I got to tell you again how much I appreciate you making the time to do this. So thank you. I hope that you've had fun here also. Remember when we talked about fun?
Yeah, it was great. I hope I'm able to help some people, especially in the AL industry. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the clinical discipline. I've seen people in the dining discipline or the activities discipline, and they too have opportunities for growth and become licensed administrators and other regional positions as well. So it's a good stepping stone as well.
Thank you. Jake, when was the last time somebody said F you to you and you laughed?
I don't know that that's ever happened.
Remember, FU, capital N, capital N. So
Right.
I'm going to complete this wonderful podcast. I have 3 questions to ask when I do this. You ready?
Okay.
Question number 1. Will you come back again?
Sure. Happy to, especially if I'm able to help some people.
Thank you so much. Number 2, you have only 80 seconds to answer this question.
Uh-oh.
What is your most fervent desire, Jake DeSantis?
80. Hey, I want to make a difference in this life for people. I want to be remembered for making a difference.
You remember at the beginning of the show, he said, "Go mad." That's you. Mad, make a difference. And the third is, I'm going to embarrass you now. You ready?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to give you a hug in front of 369,820 people around the world. But I got to tell you what HUG stands for. HUG stands for Heartfelt, Unlimited Giving. How do you like that? Heartfelt, Unlimited Giving. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
That was a good one.
So again, thank you, everybody. You're listening to the Joy of Living podcast with your humble host, Barry Shore, and our amazing, epic guest, Jake DeSantis. And it's just been such a delight being with him. And you remember on this show, we work with the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1 is life. Your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life. You go mad, like Jake said. Mad stands for make a difference. And the third is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms like WWW, what a wonderful world. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day. Or as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. And when you do all this, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? You'll create the kind of world that you want to live in. Create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel, like wonderful Jake did. He made a choice. He made a decision at the age of 18 or 19. He says, I'm going to go in the military. His father said, okay, do it. He chose the U.S. Army, and it was a great choice because remember, the 6 most important words you're going to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life are choice, not chance, determines your destiny, determines the path of your life and the trajectory. Jake is a prime example of that. And it's all about a shift in perspective. And now shift is a great word, but I'm telling you, 97.2% of the people always drop the F and shift, and the other stuff happens. You got to learn how to shift your perspective a little bit. Learn to use 4-letter words like love, life, hope, free, pray, play, swim, and tell the world to F you, capital N, capital N. So where'd you get that? I said, I listened to Barry Shore on the Joy of Living podcast. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to teach the world to F you, capital N, capital N. And remember to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. And these words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. And we say thank you to wonderful Jake for joining us today, being with us, and sharing with us, you say, the big O, the opportunity to be in the healthcare field. If you have anything to do with the military, you want to be involved with USA Care Living so we can place you in the assisted living world and you can make a difference for people that you serve, for your family, for yourself, and therefore for the whole world. So again, with a big, heartfelt thank you to you, wonderful Jake. A blessing from both of us. Our blessing is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Jake, don't go away, okay?
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.